Hello friends, welcome to our e-learning platform by the book Learning Made Easy, where we give an in-depth analysis and comprehensive explanation of all the topics related to UPSC, APSC as well as other PCS examinations. And we are going to discuss Indian history, the part which we were discussing in the previous parts, that is advent of the Europeans. As we have already discussed in part 1 and 2 about the advent of the Portuguese, like the earliest sailors which were Vasco da Gama and the governor generals, and the establishment of a Portuguese state and the religious policies of the Portuguese. Furthermore, in the part 2 we have already discussed about the capture of Hooghly and the decline of the Portuguese, as well as the how Portuguese lost favor with the Mughals and the significance of the Portuguese in the capture as well as state of India. So all these things are discussed and the part of Portuguese has come to an end. So now we are going to discuss the next part, and let's have a look at the contents of today. So today we are going to discuss about the Dutch. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the Dutch, how they settled and the areas in which they settled, along with the Anglo Dutch rivalry between the English and the Dutch, as well as the decline of the Dutch in India. Then we are going to discuss about how the English slowly made their head start towards India. So all these things will be discussed in details in today's discussion. So let's start the video. So friends, let us discuss about the Dutch. See, the Dutch were the very first Europeans to arrive to India after the Portuguese. See, the Portuguese arrived in 1498 and the Dutch arrived in 1506. The first Dutch to arrive in India was Cornelis de Houtman. So it might be asked in any exam that who was the first Dutch to arrive in India and in what year. So you must remember that 8 years after Vasco da Gama landed, take that 1498 as the base year, then 8 years after that, that is 1506, did Cornelis de Houtman landed in India. Okay, and the company by which he came was known as the East India Company of Netherlands, and it was founded in 1602. What was its purpose? Its purpose was to carry out trade wars in the sense with the fellow colonizing nations, and sign treaties with the trading nation, then capture their territory as well as erect big fortresses of their own. So these were the main plans of the Dutch in India. Then now we are going to study about the Dutch settlements in India. The first factory was set up by the Dutch in Masulipatam, which was earlierly known as Machilipatnam in 1605. Plus the Dutch also captured Nagapatnam from the Portuguese. See, at the time I might have already told you that Nagapatnam was a Portuguese territory. The Portuguese set up their own factory at Nagapatnam, but the Dutch were able to capture Nagapatnam from the Portuguese, and thus they were able to make it their stronghold, their strong position, and set up their factory in South India. Along with that, in the Coromandel coast also, as well as UP, that is Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Bengal and Bihar, many factories were established by the Dutch. And in 1609, a very big factory was also established at Pulikat. So these were the major Dutch settlements, plus other principal factories which were located around the west coast as well as in the nearby areas were mostly Surat, then Bimlipatnam, Karaikal in Kerala, Chinsura, Baranagar, Kasim Bazar and Cochin. So all these were important factories of the Dutch. So as the power of the Portuguese faded out, during that period the power of the Dutch started going slowly and slowly. I hope you got my point. Okay friends, now we are going to discuss about the classical Anglo-Dutch rivalry, that is the rivalry between the English and the Dutch, who are the natives of Holland or the Netherlands as we know it. See, during this period the English were rising in prominence in eastern trade, and thus they posed a serious threat to the Dutch. Both Dutch as well as English, they were involved in eastern trade. However, the recent influx of the English towards the east posed a serious threat to the Dutch people, and during this period the tensions between the Dutch and the English grew to such an extent that a battle took place, which is known as the Battle of Amboina or the Amboina Battle, which was the climax of the enmity between the Dutch and the English, in which 10 Englishmen and 9 Japanese were killed, and the year in which the Amboina battle took place is 1623. After this huge amount of warfare, both the parties came to a standing compromise, and the British agreed to retire from Indonesia while the Dutch agreed to withdraw from India. It was a mutual decision, and the British decided that they will go out from Indonesia while the Dutch decided that they will go out from India. Okay, I hope you got my point. Now we are going to discuss about how the decline of Dutch took place in India. See, you have to keep some points in mind. Okay, I'm giving it in this way such that things will be easier for you to remember. In the Third Anglo-Dutch War, that is, which lasted from 1672 to 1674, 3 homebound English ships were captured by the Dutch. So this caused obviously large tensions among the English and the Dutch, and as a result, the English also retaliated by capturing some of the Dutch ships. However, they came to a slow compromise. During the Battle of Hugli, which took place in November 1759, it resulted in a massive defeat for the Dutch people. As a result, the Dutch power slowly started weakening in India. Plus, the Dutch were not interested at all in empire building, unlike the English, and they were mostly concerned with trade. Okay, so they were not mostly interested in creating and capturing territories and erecting fortresses as much as English, as the main concern of the Dutch was trade, and they would go to any place where they found was fruitful for them. So as a result, the spice islands of Indonesia became the main interest of the Dutch, and the English started shifting to India while the interest of the Dutch shifted to Indonesia. I hope you got my point. Okay, friends, now we are going to discuss how the English found their way into India after the Dutch. See, in 1599, a group of English merchants who were called as merchant adventurers, they formed the company. And in December 31st, 1600, the Queen of England, that is Queen Elizabeth, she issued a charter with rights of exclusive trading to this company. The company was named as Governor and Company of Merchants of London, trading into the East Indies. So they were given exclusive rights of tradings and monopoly practices. The initial period for which the monopoly was given was initially for 15 years. However, this period was later on extended indefinitely by the Queen. Okay, I hope you got my point. Slowly, the English made progress into India. As I had already discussed in part 2 that Captain Hawkins arrived in the court of Jahangir in 1608 or 1609 during that period. And because of the Portuguese resistance, the mission of the English to build factories in Surat did not succeed, and in 1611, Captain Hawkins had to return back from the court of Jahangir to England and had to return with 2 ships, that is Dragon and Osiander. I hope you got my point. Okay. Firstly, in 1611, the English started trading. They started factories in Masulipatam in southeast India, which is in modern day Andhra Pradesh. Okay. The English under Sir Thomas Best were able to defeat the Portuguese. I hope you got my point. So if sometimes it is asked that who was the captain of the English under who the Portuguese were defeated by the English, then your answer should be Sir Thomas Best. I hope you got my point. Okay. Then when the English were able to defeat the Portuguese, this created a very good impression in the minds of Jahangir, as he was already fed up of the Portuguese, and by seeing this valor and seeing this brave work of the English, he gave the permission to establish a factory at Surat in 1613. So it was given by Jahangir, and in 1615, Sir Thomas Roe came to the court of Jahangir and stayed there till 1619. So at first who came? Yeah, you are right. Captain William Hawkins came to the court of Jahangir in 1608. Then in 1615, Sir Thomas Roe came to the court of Jahangir and stayed there till 1619. Mind you, these were only for the trading as well as business purposes with India. They had their own selfish and ulterior motives. The English, of course, I am talking about the English. I hope you got my point. Okay. However, Sir Thomas Roe was not able to sign a treaty with the Mughal Emperor, but he could get permission to set up factories at Agra, Ahmedabad and Broch. Okay. The progress of the English company was not that smooth in India because they had to face many hurdles in their way. So One of them was that in 1662 Bombay has been given to Charles II, who was the King of England during that time, or rather the Prince of England during that time, by the Portuguese king as a dowry for Princess Catherine, who was his wife. So the Portuguese gave Bombay as a dowry to the England in 1662 during the marriage of Charles II with Princess Catherine. I hope you got my point. Okay, and initially the first factory, as it was, I have already told you, was established in Surat. It was shifted and Bombay was made the headquarters of the English in 1687. Okay, then slowly what happened was that the king of Golconda in 1632 gave some golden firmans to the English. Okay, and hence their position in India grew and they could consolidate and strengthen their position in India. Francis Day was another person of England. In 1639 he received the permission to build a fort called as the Fort St. George in Madras, which is known as current day Chennai. So all these were progresses which the English were slowly making for their influx into India. I hope you got my point. Okay, that's it folks for today. Our social media handles are given below, email ID is also given. I hope you liked our video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe it. And if you have any issues, do write to us. Meet you in the next video. Okay, thank you.